Hello, I'm Rebecca of the Garden Gate Flower Company.
And I'm Grace of Grace Alexander Flowers.
And we've come together to create Stuart and Alexander, Gather at the Garden Gate.
A podcast taking you behind the scenes of two gardens, what we've been up to, inside, outside, and out and about. Welcome to the last episode of season 2 of Stuart and Alexander, podcast for people who just like to chat about gardens and flowers.
Oh, hi, Grace.
How are you, lovely Becca?
I'm fine, thank you, my lovely. Oh, I can't believe it's the last one. We got the last one in by hook or by crook. What people don't realize, though, do they, when they listen to this at the weekend, that this has been a bit of a bump to get this one in, hasn't it?
I've cancelled it twice, I think. You've cancelled it once, and I've cancelled it twice.
No.
And so I have snuck, if anyone's from work's listening, it is past 5 o'clock by 3 minutes. But I did have to nip home early from work, and the phone rang at like 25 past 4. And I was like, no, I've really got to go. I really got to go. I was texting on the way home going, I'm so sorry. I mean, really, any minute now I'll be home.
No.
But yes, so I could quite like an evening recording.
Yeah.
This feels a little bit.
If anyone that knows me well, they know that past sort of 4:30, you're into very, very dangerous territory. That is Becca in her PJs. No. I mean, you're lucky because obviously the clocks haven't changed yet, because actually that comes forward by about an hour in the winter.
Was it 3:30?
Oh God, easily 3:30. Easily 3:30. I think once the clocks change, I probably spend more time in my pajamas than I do in actual outdoor clothes. Yeah, I love it. I think it comes back from when I grew up in a farmhouse where we didn't really have proper heating. We would go out and we'd do the horses and things like that, or we'd go out for the day and you'd come home, you'd be so cold. You'd have a bath to warm up, and then you'd put your pajamas on, and then you put dressing gowns on, and you'd have jumpers on, and it's just layering up. Yeah. Oh, so sad. I know.
God, no, I feel like such a townie, because
Yeah.
I'm literally, as soon as I'm up and out of bed, take the dogs out first thing, so that's pajamas done by that point. And then I'm like 10 to 11 last thing at night. That's it.
No.
I don't really do pajamas in the day. Is that, am I missing a trick?
No, you are missing a trick, because can I just say, there is pajamas, but actually what I call, I am the queen of loungewear, and I can literally hear all my neighbour girlfriends laughing at me right now that I've managed to squeeze this in a podcast, because there is a running joke that if any of the girls from, around where I live invite me for drinks, the first person to comment will be Tor on the WhatsApp group going, everyone will come apart from Becca in her pajamas. And I have been known to walk up, the road to Tor's house in my loungewear. So I do loungewear really well. I've tried to do the whole coming home and wearing something slightly more sophisticated if somebody delivers something to the door than just pajamas. Because the other thing I've moved into is silk pajamas, which is getting very technical. But yeah, I've moved into the era of silk pajamas.
I bought some silk pajamas recently from Vinted. I'm not digging it.
Can you send them to me?
Yeah.
If you don't,
we are very different sizes, my love.
Fine.
We are very different sizes. I don't mind. You could fit 3 of you in my pajamas.
No, the one thing I will say is I don't like. I buy silk set, and there's a really good set from John Lewis actually, and I don't like the top. I don't wear the top at night. I wear a vest top, but I like the silk pajama bottoms. So if anyone is out there that would like to design just silk bottoms, and I want pure silk as well. I know this sounds like how shiny are my gold shoes, but I am of a certain age, and I do go through certain hot flushes, and I do find silk is really good at nighttime.
We did not. We don't play any of our podcasts. This is not what I've made some notes
sorry.
we were going to talk about. But we've gone down the road now, so I'm going to finish it. So you have cost me an absolute fortune, because when we did, I think it was episode 7, we were talking about Designers Guild, and we were doing all of that. Could you have 2 lives, and could you have 2 wardrobes? Could you have sort of one look and all the very beige linen, and could you have something very different? And I thought, I do have 2 lives, so I'm going to have 2 wardrobes. So I've been on Vinted and I have been developing my work wardrobe, which is very, I think, what we would call architect chic. So lots of linens and lots of really nice structure. I've bought more white shirts in the last 2 weeks than I have in the rest of my life put together.
Yeah.
And some really nice, not too wide leg trousers, but wide leg trousers.
Always look great.
Nice
they always look great. Yeah. Especially tall people.
And then yes. And then, of course, I have to have my flower farming wardrobe. So I've just bought myself a Carrier Company Guernsey jumper. Vinted. Everything's Vinted.
I've got to get on Vinted. I've got to get on. I've just sold something.
Don't. It has cost me a fortune.
Okay.
Every week more parcels arrive and my bedroom is now exploding.
Oh.
But you've now dropped in loungewear.
Loungewear is a thing. I am the queen of loungewear. I can say, honestly, I am the queen of loungewear. Yeah. I don't
have more for when I get home. It's just awful. I just stay in the clothes that I went to work in until I go to bed. Is that not?
No, I put this down to, I blame my mum. So when we used to come home from school, it was, I think because again, we were on the farm, it was go and get changed because you're in your school uniform.
Yeah.
I grew up very much that whatever you were wearing in the day out to school, you would obviously come home and you would get changed into things that you could go outside and muck around in. Because we had to go out and do horses and animals and all help my stepdad. And so you weren't going to go and do that in your school uniform. So I'm quite used to like 2 or 3 wardrobe changes in a day. And in a way that hasn't really changed, because if I have what I would call a non-garden gate day, which by the way, they are far and few between, but let's just say it's a day where I have to go and sort out, I don't know, an eye test in Truro. That's the one day I decide to maybe wear a pair of cream jeans. God forbid, a pair of cream jeans. You have to really choose your moments, or I do anyway.
Yeah.
But inevitably, I will put them on with such enjoyment and then realise that nobody's walked the dog. Then that's back into outdoor dog clothes.
Yeah.
I just, because of what I do, so much of it is gardening. I can't come in what I'm wearing, and I can't come in what I'm wearing because they're filthy. So I need to then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon even put loungewear on. So I can go from loungewear from about 2 in the afternoon if I've done a big morning session gardening. Definitely in the wardrobe department, cover a lot of ground. But I've just started selling things on Vinted. That's exciting. Maybe you need to start selling as well as buying, Grace.
I do. I don't currently have the headspace for that, but yeah.
So we can say my indoor was sorting out some of my clothes because I have started and sold my first item on Vinted. And it's some old cashmere, Brora cashmere jumpers, which, funny enough, were from my corporate world, which because they are so beautiful. And if anyone knows that brand, it is absolutely lovely. And I will just add a footnote that I bought these. I would say probably I have got a Brora jumper that is nearly as old as my marriage, which is 23 years. And they really do last, but I have to say they were not the same price as they are now 23 years ago, as you can imagine. Yeah. But some of the ones that I wore, because I was in a very corporate world, they're just not me anymore. I've always been that kind of person that when I've worn, like when I've decided to get rid of something, I do actually normally take it to the cancer research, things like that. It's just my way of being able to do that part of my life. It's getting harder to drop things off at charity shops now, I will say. That's like quite a nightmare, really. But I just thought I'm going to give this a go because some of these items are still, I think, quite vintage in themselves. I'm thinking some of my really old Mulberry handbags now that I don't really use. That, again, I had for my corporate world when I was working in London. But so that I've had a very, this is full disclaimer to anyone listening to our final episode. I feel really bad because a week's gone by and Becca has not been very far. So you go ahead with your in, Grace.
I am going to start with my in because it is pouring with rain.
What?
It has been pouring with rain here for 2 days, non-stop. I'm wearing inappropriate clothing for the weather, and my mid-leg downwards is drenched, but I'm going to sit here till I finish before I go and change into something to walk the dogs in. I'm not changing to loungewear. I'm not. But actually, everyone is complaining about it except me. Everyone is rolling their eyes and doing the whole, is that summer gone and all that sort of stuff. And actually, I am predicting another heat wave because it always happens when the schools go back, and the schools went back yesterday.
Yep.
But I am absolutely here for this. I spent much of yesterday packing seeds because a big sale is about to launch again, and I'm still trying to clear out the shop before I move back to the studio. It was tea and toast central.
Oh.
It was beautiful. So I'm also very excited that Nigel Slater has a new autumnal book out.
Yeah.
So I am pre-ordering that with great excitement. just so I can have about 6 weeks of that before we open the Christmas Chronicles and we start cooking from the Christmas Chronicles from sort of the end of November, really.
I
So
saw
my
that.
I'm channeling Nigel Slater in all aspects of my life, including his beautiful indigo Japanese work jackets. I quite fancy one of those too.
Oh, I love a work jacket. I always keep Googling work jackets. I quite like a padded one or a wool one, which actually the Carrier Company does do, those beautiful wool ones. And don't you remember I tried one on
Yeah, you
2
did,
years ago at
Chelsea.
Chelsea, and I still
Mm.
can't quite bring myself to decide which one, really. I don't know. I just can't. But anyway, maybe it'll come to me. But yeah, I honestly, my in has just been sorting out seeds, dashing in and out from the garden at home, watching things germinate slowly but surely. And
Have you got an out? Because actually, what with the rain and everything, I'm
yeah,
confessing that I've got more in than out.
my only out has been that I have actually done on your foraging thing and the seasonal. I've done another haul of blackberry picking, which was brilliant. But I timed it a bit badly actually because we did have rain, but we haven't had. So this storm, we're recording this, and this is this storm that was predicted to come in, wasn't it? And actually, I was out helping set up a wedding yesterday, and it absolutely tipped down all day. I felt cold all day. It was awful. We were working in a
Oh,
marquee.
miserable.
It was dreadful. But luckily for the couple that are getting married today, we have actually, touch wood, had no rain today in Cornwall. Yeah, no, we've had nothing.
Oh,
It's
well, that
it's
means
dry.
I'll have nothing tomorrow because that's how
Yep.
our weather is always a bit about
Yep.
just under a day behind yours.
Yeah.
So hopefully that means I might actually get outside
Yep.
tomorrow because I'm desperate to peg out the new raised bed design that Christy did for me. And I'm desperate just to go out and just put something in the ground.
Yeah.
And I can't. It's just too
Andy and I managed to, a couple of days ago, we got out and all of my perennials arrived. So exciting when you get the box of perennials.
Oh, yeah.
They were really good, actually, really good quality, really nice. I'm so delighted with them. I almost wish I'd bought some more. So I might go back and order a bit more. But we cleared 2 long rows, which are hard going. Funny enough, the chap who had this bit of land before had quite a few dahlias. I have dug out the most enormous dahlia tubers I've ever seen in my life. There was nothing came up this year. I don't know whether everything got eaten by slugs. It was quite abandoned land. But the tubers, I mean, I have never seen anything like it. Some of them were a length of about 3 foot long. It was just absolutely,
Oh my
they
goodness.
were absolutely enormous. I think it's that late flowering dahlia he was saying to me, and I can't think what it's called, but there is a really, really late flowering dahlia, which almost is so late that then it just gets caught by the frost and it's very, very big. To try and look up what it is. But anyway, we've managed to get all of those perennials in, and I've ordered some more shrubs as well. So I'm hoping they will arrive soon. So at the moment, I'm having thought about your area of I'm not clearing it until I know I've got some stuff arriving. But there is, at this time of year for me, obviously, it's wedding central. So the balance of trying to garden and prep for next year is quite a fine line. And I've actually just been out trying to save seed, but I don't know whether anyone noticed, but I had this cosmos that went a little bit mad on Instagram. Thank you to all my new followers that I've had because of it. But I'm desperately trying to save the seed from it. And it's just, have you got the whole cosmos seed goes really mushy before it have you ever experienced harvesting cosmos seeds? Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Get lovely big black ones like teeth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you? Would you remove petals?
Put it in. Cut it.
Right.
Bring it inside. Let it dry in your kitchen.
Okay.
Somewhere warm, but not in direct sunlight or next to your Arga.
Okay.
But just let it dry. Same as dahlias. You'd be amazed what they can do. So just let it dry. That mushiness will go. You'll crack it open, and all the seeds will be right there. But dry.
Okay. So I could almost pick it like it's been pollinated. So I've even tried pollinating my own cosmos because this is such a good cosmos. So I've had a bag. I don't know whether, I'm not entirely sure it's going to work, but I put a bag over 3 of them. They weren't pollinated at that stage. They'd just come out. They look really lovely. So I put the silk bag over it. And then what I've done is I've taken a brush and I have crossed them between the ones that are good, that I like. I will add, I did it with a makeup brush. So that's an eyebrow. That's an eye pencil. What is it called? You can tell I'm a regular eyeshadow brush. I'll never be using again.
Right. Yeah.
So they'll either come out looking like Bobby Brown or something. Or I don't know whether I'm doing it right. I've no idea. I've never done the whole pollinating things myself. Have you?
Only pumpkins.
Okay.
I think that's the only thing that I've really done.
Yeah.
And they're quite easy because the flowers are so big. But yeah, with those sorts of things, you can only try.
That's what I thought.
The issue with that is you can sometimes get some weird genetics even within the same plant, and you just have to grow it and see what happens. So you're throwing the dice and just seeing where it lands, really.
So lovely Becky, my friend lovely Becky, who's quite good on this sort of stuff, she did say to me, even when you do it with that one plant, obviously with 2, 3 that look the same, that are lovely, it'll still go back to its original. It could go back to its original one. You still have.
Yeah.
I think this is why this one cosmos is so amazing. But that one plant has produced so many beautiful. They're all the same. They're all this amazing sort of champagne-y, slightly blush, absolutely exquisite.
What variety was it to start with?
It was double click rose. But
nice.
But funny enough, having spoken to a lot of people who grow a lot of that, I think Tammy being one of them, Tammy said is what you do. You just get 1 or 2 amazing ones. But it's like you need to grow a lot of them and you'll just get 1 or 2. Why can't the breeders be better at getting that one? So, yeah, so that's...
Why I don't grow a lot of cosmos. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. But it's genetics. As the seed saver, it's genetics. It's just an absolute lottery. I'm leaving that one to... You've got polytunnels and maggots.
Yeah. I'm going to do what you said. That's really good. And the other one that in my huge cosmos trial, which I did this year, I didn't grow Rabenza. Is it Rabenza?
No.
Don't know why.
The dark one.
Yeah, don't know why, but literally keep seeing it everywhere and going, why did I not grow that? So that's going on my list for next year. Don't know how that didn't get through the system.
It's one of the only other ones I grew this year.
How funny. How funny.
So, yeah.
Don't know. It will probably be that I saw a picture of it and it didn't catch my eye. And that's so often the case that if you are looking at flowers to grow, do stick it into Google and click Google Images and see a good broad upload of all of those images. Because I don't know about you, but I quite often go, oh, that's lovely. And then I actually go, no, that's hideous.
Don't.
Yeah.
I've probably got 50 tickled pink sweet peas, which from the picture on the front,
not good, are they?
Lovely.
Not good.
New garden is special. Oh God, it's dreadful. I'm ripping the whole lot up. I'm not saving the seed from it even.
No,
it's no.
I've got that.
That is my only failure this year. I have to say, it's my only one that I thought, oh, never doing that one again. It's not bad going, is it?
That's interesting. So that's what I've been doing out as well. My in and my out of blended, because I have been literally running out. Literally picking the seed up, bringing it in. So at the moment, inside, thank you to my whole family, the hallway table is absolutely covered in little pots with seeds in them. And everyone's been very good and nobody's knocked anything over. So I'm very, very grateful.
Are you labelling everything? You must label.
No, of course I'm not.
You must.
I can hear Sarah Stratham listening to this and roaring with laughter. When has Rebecca ever labelled anything? I know what they are. It's fine.
All look the same.
Yes and no, but I've got to this point in my life where I just think if I've probably grown it, I probably like it, so I don't need to worry anymore. There is a lot of failure to be had here, isn't there? I do appreciate it.
Yeah, I suppose you're not selling it. So I mean, I was podding some Flora and Autumn the other day, and it pinged, and I thought, oh no, that just landed in a different bowl? So I think, if you buy Renown off me, which is the most beautiful pillar box red, which I don't often like red sweet peas. This one is lovely. Very generous. Flowers and flowers and flowers. One plant out of about 500 seeds might be Flora and Autumn.
I love that.
I'm just going to risk it. And hope for the best, because I can't throw away all of my Renown seed just because I might have one Flora and Autumn.
No, surely there's a disclaimer that all seed people put on there anyway. I have also, sorry to interrupt you, think I have today successfully sown that scabious you like.
Beautiful.
Again,
I can't wait to see that. Can you?
I'm really sure it's dried particularly well. Anyway, I've literally pulled it apart. I've probably got loads of chaff in it as well, but I've laid it in a dish and just thought with a little bit of soil, and I'm just going to pre-sprout them a little bit, and then I'll plant them because the whole identification of what bit is seed and what bit isn't seed is quite technical as well, by
Yeah,
the way,
very
for anyone
much.
that's not used to saving their own seed.
Even those who are. So I've got some, God, I don't know what I've always really struggled to say. It's Erigion.
Oh, yeah, Erigion.
Anna?
Yeah, Erigion.
I always want to call it Erigion because there's an Erigion as well, but it's not. It's the Erigion
Oh,
one.
maybe I've got that wrong, yeah.
Mexican daisy. Anyway, there's a Mexican daisy that's actually 5 foot tall, and I got some beautiful plants from Derry Watkins about 5 years ago, and it does self-sow everywhere, which is lovely, but I wanted to be a bit more intentional with where it was going to grow.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what I've saved. I'm shaking the seed heads over a plate, and I'm like, just this
Is
sort
this
of
seed?
fluffy stuff's coming off. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I've no idea if this is seed or I'm about to waste 6 months of my life trying to germinate a dry petal. I don't know. So
I'm quite pleased that you've
Yeah.
got the same then, because I just thought, having been a flower gardener for 14 years, I should know what I'm doing. But yeah.
Well, if you're a really good flower farmer, you shouldn't ever let anything set seeds. So
True.
I'm not sure I've got an excuse, but yeah.
So have you been out?
I have.
Oh, my
I have.
goodness.
I know it's not a glamorous out, and I am a bit cross that we
Okay.
are ending this season here because I have 5 glamorous,
We know.
extremely exciting events coming up in the next 3 weeks. Oh, one of which actually might fit into next season. We had a bit of a service development. We need a bit of a day away at work, and I thought, you know what? Sometimes you've got to get out of your own space. So even though there's lots of renovation stuff happening at Malice Farm, and it is beautiful and very exciting, I have felt that I just need to do a bit of seasonal planning for the garden and for my writing. And I've got a really exciting writing project that I'm not quite ready to share with everybody yet, but I certainly will very soon. And so we all went off to the White Post Cafe, which is the most lovely, middle of nowhere. I don't know how they make a living, but it's always packed. Beautiful views over the Contocks. We arrived when it opened about 9 o'clock. We did half a day on work stuff, and then I stayed on to do my own content calendar and notebook filling and all that sort of stuff until about 3:30.
Oh.
And it was so lovely, just in terms of creative juices. And I don't know about you, when you work so much from your own space, you're always seeing the things that you need to do now. There's always an order to pack, or there's always some weeding to do, or there's always something that you've got to do immediately, or emails, or just keeping on top of the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just need to get away. And I always feel like the shift in the seasons is the real trigger for me to do that. Like, I really want to spend half a day with my best notebook, and it's September. So if you haven't got a new pencil case, then what are you doing? And just enjoying a bit of reflective time.
Yeah.
So I drank more tea than is normal for one human being to imbibe in a day. And we had a lovely lunch and a little cake in the afternoon. And so that was my out. Just a bit of an away day.
I think that's lovely. I haven't been out. I have to say, I'm in a bit of a wedding planning, organising, picking, prepping frenzy. I can't really remember what I even had at lunchtime for lunch today, let alone remember whether I've actually been out. Probably, I know I've had to fill up with fuel. So I've been to the petrol station.
Have you been to Morrison's at Bodmin? That's where I always go when I'm down your way.
Yeah. And actually, I always curse them at the Morrison's in Bodmin because they always lure you into the false sense of security that you can pay at the pump. So I go whizzing to the pay at the pump, and still they haven't fixed the pay at the pump. I think it was actually this time that I went into the kiosk and said to the guy, "Are you ever going to have pay at the pump again?" He went, "Oh yeah, we do have a technical issue." I was thinking, I think this has been going on a very long time. Yeah, they did. Yeah, although I think they have upgraded some of their nozzles, so I didn't get flooded with diesel like I normally do. It's the most run-down petrol station for a supermarket I've ever filled up at.
Why do we both go there? Because that's the only petrol station I fill up at when I'm down your way.
Yeah,
so
it is.
It's strange.
Yeah, you think they would upgrade it a bit. Yeah, so I haven't really been out. I feel like I am on the cusp of a lot of data bringing to you the Stuart Alexander out soon. It will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen soon. I will get my life back. And I will be
I feel like I've
out.
shot us in the foot a little bit, having said we absolutely don't plan these, because I was going to suggest that we should get together and pretend to be planning for season 3 when actually we're just having a nice jolly somewhere.
Oh, well, we
But
can
we don't
do
plan
that.
it.
No, we
so-
don't plan it. But then we could pretend to plan it And we
We
could try to be more focused for season 3. Season 3!
I know.
Can
I
you
know.
believe it?
So much fun. I was talking to somebody about the new exciting writing project, actually, and he
Mhm.
said, "Oh, are you okay to record it?" And I said, "Yes, I
Mhm.
am." And he said, you're right with the tech with that?" And I said, "Oh, God, yeah.
Yes, you learn.
Doing the podcast, highlight of my week."
You're very good. You're very good. So we're going to try and get this out for Sunday as per normal as our finale then. Is that your plan? Because we are a bit late recording this,
Absolutely.
bless you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's raining. Nothing else I can do, is there?
There is literally nothing else you can do. Whereas I am actually going to go out and pick those cosmos now that you've told me and bring them in
Yes.
before it does rain and put them in little bud vases. I can put
Yes.
them in my kitchen, right? I'm not right by the Argo, but I'm going to put them in bud vases in my kitchen, which is
Yeah.
warm and dry.
Yeah. It was great if your family aren't meddlers, because you can imagine that they would look pretty manky. And if you had anyone just saying, what have they still got these dead flowers for, and then throwing them away, and then you'd be mortified.
There is a lot of dead flowers. There's a lot of drying going on in my house, mainly straw flowers. But annoyingly, I didn't get to saving my straw flowers, all of them at the right time. I do it every year. I grow all these straw flowers with this great sort of need to save them, as I talked about, and then still find myself not quite getting there in time for how they open so fast, don't they? Once they start, they really pop quite
They do.
quickly. Yeah.
There's always the side shoots though with straw flowers, I find.
Yes.
Even when the king flower's gone over, you do have lots of those lovely little buds, which are great.
Perfect buttonholes as well, by the way.
Buttonholes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I am collecting things to dry them for the wedding that I've got on the 2nd of November. But I have to say, I did not germinate a single straw flower this year.
Oh.
I know. Terrible. I don't know what I was thinking.
I said to you, didn't I, that I saved the seed and I've only got one plant that's peach. So I think I'm going to have to buy fresh seed this year because I think the dominant pink and white, just especially pink, seem to be literally a field of it compared to I could have done with more peach, really, which is a bit of a shame, but there you go. But it's been lovely chatting with you, and it's been lovely sort of like recording all of season 2. And everyone can obviously go back and listen if they're new to Stuart Alexander. They can go back and start from the very beginning, season 1, if they want to, can't they? Because they're dedicated or very bored.
Yeah, you have a very long train journey or some sort of event that you need to endure. Yeah, I'd love to be part of it. But yes, it has been a delight. I am quite excited about the prospect of going to go and get some dry clothes on, I have to say, actually.
Yeah, go and get some dry clothes on. And I challenge you not to go and start looking for loungewear that actually you will suddenly decide you like. Marks and Spencer's, by the way, do cashmere joggers. Yeah. Can we find a reason why Becca definitely needs to buy a pair of cashmere joggers? I just can't bring myself to do it, really.
I tell you what, you sell one Mulberry handbag on Vintage, you've got enough cash to buy as many cashmere joggers as you like.
That is true, actually. Maybe that will motivate me.
It's the one in, one out principle.
I am a bit of a mum when I come to thinking about this, though, because knitted joggers, obviously I'm talking to the wrong person because you don't do loungewear. It's never great because if you kneel down, you get the bulge in the knee. That's very disappointing. If I buy a pair of cashmere joggers, I literally have to just lie in them somewhere.
This sounds fraught with jeopardy, I have to say, as a whole project. Yeah, I've never embraced the tracksuit bottoms thing. I do have one pair.
Can't imagine you in tracksuit bottoms, actually.
No.
There is tracksuit bottoms and then there is tracksuit bottoms. So you might maybe you've just not found the right fabric. That's the thing, which is often the problem in everybody's life. Or certainly Becca's. Yeah.
If in doubt, make it cashmere. That's my solution to all
Just love it so much.
clothing woes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, listen.
Well,
when are we going to do season 3? Are we going to give a little? Do we know? We're thinking October, probably, aren't we?
We are thinking October.
Yeah.
And I am going to stockpile my outs.
Okay.
That because otherwise next week I have 3 fun events.
Okay, you're going to have a great time. So they're going to be old and boring. Becca's are going to come in October like fresh, amazing, and you're going to have all these old, bored.
Yeah.
You're still excited. I don't mind. It's going to be great because the pressure is not going to be on. But yeah, I'm gonna really have to pull it out of the bag in October to meet yours. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody that's been following us from the start or joined us halfway through. We've really enjoyed producing this for you. And we will be back in October after a few weeks break while Becca literally won't see the light of day for most of the next few weeks because of weddings.
Weddings the county.
And Grace will be just razzing it up somewhere around having a wonderful time.
Lounge more on, I can tell you that.
No.
Yeah.
Enjoy the break, Grace, and we will be
You
back.
too.
No doubt I'll be messaging you. I'm sure we'll be WhatsApping each other. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you to everybody for following us along, and we will speak to you again in October. Take care.
Fabulous. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.